Coming off the biggest week in game releases in a while, this week is going to be a little lighter on the marquee titles. However, there are still some interesting games to keep your eyes on. We're going to go over 7 big games coming out this week. Let's get right into this. Let's start off with what is probably the biggest game this week, and that is Dissidia Final Fantasy NT. Dissidia Final Fantasy is finally making a return. This was a very good franchise back on the PlayStation Portable. Dissidia Final Fantasy as well as its follow-up were both great titles. However, for whatever reason, the spin-off Final Fantasy series went dormant for a while, but now it's coming back and on the PlayStation 4. Obviously, from the visual side of things, it has seen a gigantic leap over the PlayStation Portable games. However, it has changed a lot of things that might turn off some gamers. There is no traditional story mode, which is kind of disappointing. The story modes in the other Dissidia games were actually really good, and the battles are going to be 3-on-3, which will be an interesting take on the gameplay. Now, this is a title that was already released in Japan on arcades, but this is the first time it's releasing on a console, and you'll be able to play Dissidia Final Fantasy NT on January 30th.
HP attacks. Bravery attacks decrease your opponent's bravery, while increasing your own by the same amount. And receiving a bravery attack will in turn reduce your bravery. These attacks are important because the higher your bravery rises, the more powerful your HP attacks become. When your bravery is higher than your opponent's HP, they can be incapacitated with an HP attack. You can choose from over 20 playable characters that belong to one of 4 battle types.
Night in the Woods on Switch. Night in the Woods is a single-player adventure game, a very low-key title. It's a story-focused exploration game, and these types of games, the Switch has been getting a lot of them, and they seem to perform really well on them as far as sales go, and it's great to be able to take these indie-style experiences on the go. Night in the Woods is going to be hitting the Nintendo Switch on February 1st. From one Nintendo Switch port to another, we've also got Skyforce Reloaded. Shoot 'em ups seem to be a great fit on the Nintendo Switch, and that's what you're getting with Skyforce Reloaded. It's a classic shoot 'em up with pretty good visuals and solid gameplay. It's got 15 stages with enormous bosses, various difficulty modes, and a variety of different aircrafts. Of course, all of those will have their unique features and playstyle. Skyforce Reloaded hits the Nintendo Switch on February 1st. Out of Ammo. Out of Ammo is a PlayStation VR game that puts you in the commander's seat against wave after wave of soldiers. You construct defenses, call in artillery, issue orders, and take control of your soldiers directly in order to survive for as long as you can. It's not the most interesting game concept, however, on PlayStation VR, this is a little bit different. You'll have to be in control of a variety of different characters, all with their unique role. Out of Ammo hits PlayStation VR on January 30th. Railway Empire on consoles. Railway Empire is a game that's gained some traction on PC, and it's definitely a PC-centric experience, but now it's hitting the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Railway Empire, as the title would suggest, has you create an elaborate and wide-ranging rail network. You have a wide array of different trains, and you can buy or build railway stations, maintenance buildings, factories, and tourist attractions to keep your travel network ahead of the competition. Hopefully, Railway Empire makes a solid transition over to console controls. It hits the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One on January 30th.
Choose from numerous applicants with different character traits and strengths, any of whom could be your next train driver, platoon attendant, or accountant. But be careful, because your employees need to be selected and combined with care. Naturally, cities will grow over time. The larger the city, the more inhabitants it will have, which will also result in a higher demand for goods and transport.
EA Sports UFC 3. The EA Sports UFC games are back with EA Sports UFC 3. This series hasn't been a yearly sports title by EA, and that's probably for the best. The UFC titles are a little bit lower key than your typical sports games, and they're still trying to find their footing, and EA Sports UFC 3 is gonna build upon UFC 2. It's your typical sports game enhancement. New to the series is the GOAT career mode, where the choices made throughout the career impact the player's path to greatness. Outside of the fights, you'll actually make promotional choices to build hype, gain fans, earn more cash through big contracts, and capture the world's attention. That's actually relatable to the world of UFC, so it's cool that they're introducing that as a mechanic to UFC 3. There's also a new in-game social media system that allows the player to create heated rivalries with other UFC athletes. Who knows if the implementation will be on point? We'll find out as EA Sports UFC 3 hits PlayStation 4 and Xbox One on February 2nd. And finally, Striker's Edge. Striker's Edge is a medieval dodgeball game with weapons, ancient warriors, and special powers. It's a game that's very off the wall. Probably not a game you're gonna get super invested into, but it looks interesting nonetheless. You'll be able to play against opponents online and on local multiplayer, ascend to the top of the ladder, and attempt to become the best striker. It's a pretty interesting game, and stylistically, it looks really good. You've got 8 unique strikers, each with their own set of abilities, playstyle, and strategies, and you'll be able to play in 1v1 or 2v2 matches with 4 different areas, and it does tout that it's easy to learn, however hard to master. This is one game that not too many gamers are talking about, but it does have some potential, and it'll be hitting PlayStation 4 and PC on January 30th. So that wraps up 7 big new game releases for the week. What do you think? Which games are you gonna check out this week? Sound off with your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.